Daar was 'n geskree en 'n geraas. En na alles was dit blootse stilte, jy kan 'n speld oorval.
Daar's baie dae wat ek nie kan regtig loop nie. Ek het hospitaal uitgegaan. Maar ek gaan aan.
Bako ito ba mong ina. O tembe ya jokukuni ha. Takutiveri la fidema. Enene mwene na bandamuna batatu olombatera. Oli kandamwine lokana akakatunda piru. Kalimba piru papia.
We just didn't know what happened. All we just saw, we saw darkness. But before that took place, his the two kids were still with him in the butcher shop. So he took the children out of the butcher, and the car was standing in front of the bookshop. He put the children in the car there. He came in, and he still cuddled his wife, and then the two were standing close to one another. And after that, nobody knew anything.
We only heard the news when my parents came back that afternoon, and it was not a nice thing to see. Even though my father didn't get hurt, but once he knew that he lost his son and daughter-in-law, he emotionally shut down.
My baby brother, he couldn't actually talk. He was 3 years old, and he couldn't talk a word. And I think seeing what happened, being in that close proximity, that gave him such a shock of a fright that a couple of weeks after that he started talking.
Toe sien ek iemand wat daar uitgedra word wat 'n rok het wat lyk soos my suster se net. Toe skree ek het gedink is my suster, toe skree ek haar. Toe loop ek nog tot daarby, maar ek kan niemand weer sien wat vir my kan help nie. Toe gaan ek uit, toe dink ek die mens is nou klaar toe, hulle is by die dokter, toe gaan ek by na huis toe.
The administrator came, he said, "Can you give me a hand here? I've got a little baby. His mother was killed in a blast and we haven't found his father yet."
But today, we just want to honor and remember the Walvis Bay residents who just wanted to buy and prepare meat for their families on the 2nd of August, 1986.
An explosion 38 years ago in 1986 shook Walvis Bay residents to the core. The explosion happened at a local butchery and claimed the lives of 5 people and injured many. It is against this background that a documentary premiered over the weekend to honor, that is, the victims from that fateful day. The documentary was produced by Taati Niilenge as well as Isidor Shilongo. Taati now joins us telephonically all the way from Walvis Bay to talk to us about the documentary. Taati, good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm doing good. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
All right. So much was said in that documentary. Perhaps I just want to start with the inspiration. What inspired you to go out there and produce a documentary of what happened on the 2nd of August, 38 years ago, 1986?
Well, I was born in Walvis Bay, born and raised in Walvis Bay. And as a child, I used to hear about the story. You know, locals would tell the story about their families, how they lost friends, how they lost family members. My grandparents, my parents would talk about it. And, you know, I've known about this story for so long, since I was a really little girl. So throughout all these years, I just discovered that everybody forgot about these people. Everybody forgot about this incident. You know, you would hear here and there, you would hear family members complaining that nobody talks about our families anymore. We lost mothers, we lost our fathers, but everybody's just quiet. You know, I just felt bad. People were complaining about this. You know, others just wanted, you know, people to just remember that it happened And I just decided that, listen, okay, let me produce something. Since it's nearing the 2nd of August, let me produce something just to make them feel like they are not really forgotten. You know, some other people might not know about this, but people who lived in Walvis Bay during those years know about them. You know, they remember. So let's do something for them as a gift so we can remember these people.
Tati, I did mention that it was a bombing that took place at a butchery. 5 people unfortunately lost their lives on that day. Can you just talk to us? Give us the whole story of what exactly transpired.
Okay, so it was on a Saturday on the 2nd of August 1986. And from what I heard, some people, you know, it's a popular butchery, the Atlantic Meat Market, which was established in 1950. And it was really popular. Everybody shopped there. You know, they have these unique meat products that are still popular now. So most people shopped on Saturdays. Like everybody went to the meat market on Saturday. So on that fateful Saturday, someone walked in with a bag, and he left the bag there. He left, and then a few minutes later, a bomb exploded, and 5 people died. 24 people got injured, and it really shook the town. Like people were talking about how chaotic it was. People were talking about how the whole of Walvis Bay flocked to the place to go help. People from Swakopmund came to help. There was a real confusion, and that incident is still remembered by people who used to live in Walvis Bay of years.
Right. You mentioned that someone walked in with a bag and then the bomb exploded from that bag. Does anybody know who that person is from your investigation?
By that time, then they didn't know. It was only a few years later, as I was googling and finding out from some people, I heard of a man called Shehama, who admitted that he is the one that planted the bomb. I didn't really work with the political side or anything else about that. It was probably, you know, the apartheid era and stuff. So I didn't really concentrate on those. That's not what I want in the documentary. So yeah, that part I didn't really concentrate on. I just wanted to have a memory for Walvis Bay people.
Yes. Talk to us about the 5 people that passed on that day.
So the 5 people that passed on that day, I'm told about a couple. They were in their 30s. I think they were 30 years old. A married couple. They went to the meat market to go buy meat as their 2-year-old son was having a birthday on the next day. So they left their kids in the car, walked into the butchery, and then the bomb went off. They both died. And then there was a woman that was working in the meat market as well. She also died, and she had a son. So the son was left with the paramedics, you know, them looking for the son's father, just to tell him that, you know, your wife died in the blast. There was another woman that walked in just at the door. The bomb exploded. She also died. There was another man that was working for the Coca-Cola company. He was from the north. He also died. And yeah, I think those are the people that died.
All right. Now, the documentary is titled The Bomb We Remember. It premiered over the weekend. Can you just talk to us about the reception? How was it received by the family members as well as the residents of Walvis Bay?
Okay. I'm going to talk about before, you know, when I told them that I'm going to produce a documentary before I get into the Saturday itself. So I contacted these people. I asked them if they would like to talk about it. I actually thought that they would be like, no, we don't want to remember that. We don't. But they were so excited. You know, they actually told me that finally someone is doing something about this because we need to talk. We want to talk. We want to tell our story. And that is what made the documentary a success because they talked, they cried, they talked about the day before, the day when it happened. They talked about their lives afterwards, you know. And when I got out the posters and everything on social media that there would be a documentary, people started calling, like all of a sudden everybody had a story. You know where I was that day? This is where I was. This is what I was doing. This is what my mom told me. My dad told me. People called from other countries, you know, people, Walvis Bay residents who have moved out of Namibia, saying that we really want to see the documentary. How can we see it? It was a bittersweet moment, kind of. And then on Saturday, as they came in, oh, it was filled with mixed emotions. Some people were crying already at the door, seeing the posters of their loved ones. Some people were happy taking pictures, but mostly it was really sad. And as they were watching the documentary, a lot of people were crying, you know, and all that. But in the end, they were really relieved. I think it was kind of a therapeutic day. Yes. Yeah, but it was wonderful. I remember after that, the mayor of Walvis Bay also got up after watching it, and he just decided that, listen, we need to do something about this. We need to set up something in remembrance of these people because it has been 38 years and nobody really remembers people anymore. So we're going to do something about that, which was really a good thing because when those people walked out of that place, they walked out, you know, happy.
Now, for those of us that missed out on watching the documentary, where can we watch it?
A lot of people missed out on this because Saturday was a really busy day as well in Walvis Bay, even though people wanted to watch it. So they were calling, asking where can they watch it. So we decided to have a second screening. It will probably be this Saturday, but I'll still communicate the time where people can still come and watch the documentary. And after that, we'll see what we can do to get it out to people who are not from Walvis Bay.
All right. Taati, thank you so much for joining us this morning.
Thank you so much for having me.
All right. Taati Niilenge, who is a freelance journalist, joining us this morning, talking to us about a documentary she produced alongside Isidor Shilongo titled The Bomb We Remember, which was an explosion that took place 38 years ago. That was on the 2nd of August in 1986. She mentioned a man walked into a butchery, what's called the Atlantic Butchery back then. He walked in, left a bag there, and a bomb went off, killing 5 people and injuring 24. And they remembered them over the weekend with the documentary. She did mention that there will be a second screening. So if you're finding yourself in Walvis Bay, you're definitely in luck. Well, don't go anywhere. More conversations coming your way.